Hello there you, and welcome to a Tau defense line that's about to be swarmed by a tide of greenskins. Will the Tau, with the help of their crew friends, be able to withstand the tide of green that's about to descend upon them? As always, if you do enjoy this content, do leave a like and consider subscribing, as that's the best way to support the channel. Now, let's get on with the battle. Here we go, the ladies and gentle giants, and one of my personal favorite battles here, the Tau versus the Greenskin Tides. Now, you might notice the Tau have got some rather interesting defensive formations here. They've gone for these W effects here, hoping to concentrate the firepower of their formations into the Orky hordes. We've got two of them on hand here, with the crew charging from behind, hoping to provide support. On our first line here, we do have our hammerhead tanks, and on the second line over here is where our XV8 suits are. So hopefully we should have enough firepower here on the field today to keep the Orky masses at bay. And the Orcs have got some really interesting terrain to make their way over here. You can see already pulse fire absolutely ripping across the lines. Orcs taking monumental losses. 30,000, 40,000 quickly approaching here as the goo already starts to spread across the floor. Now you can see though that the Orcs are closing that gap, charging relentlessly forward. The Tau firepower here diminishing returns as every Orc death here allows them to get closer and closer. But look at this, the counter charge from the Kroot just coming in here just in time, flanking right into the center lines and around the outer edges here. Hopefully the rest of the pulse fire can now concentrate on the center block mass of Orcs. Look at this, the glorious charge. Kroot here going head to head with Chopper, Nob, Stormboy and Mega Nob. They're going to make a really decent line here. The Kroot are actually excellent in melee combat when it comes to the Orcs. But look at that pulse fire, man. It is just shredding open that front Orc line. They're taking so many losses, man. 100,000 already. And look at that, the goo. Oh, the wonderful goo. It drips and slides across the floor. Let's go over to our far flank. How's our second formation doing? Now, this formation is set back from the other one, so they've got a lot more room here to just pump absolute madness into the Orky hordes. You can see them XV8 suits concentrating heavy fire. Oh my god. The Orky hordes are getting evaporated in places. I love that, though. You just see them carving out paths like this. Look, oh my god, that's allowing the Kroot to push forward here. That is such high concentrated firepower there, coming out of the Tau lines. And this is exactly what they were hoping to do with these formations. You can see that it's actually creating this little gap, allowing Kroot to push into it here. Oh, that is pretty magnificent. That's actually gained the Kroot a little bit of ground on the Orcs there. It's insane firepower that the Tau have on the field here. But of course, the Orcs are countering that with sheer weight of numbers. Surely the enemy can't have enough bullets for all of them, right, lads? And look at this, a magnificent center line here. Hardly any Kroot in it, actually. It is sheer firepower from the Tau lines at the moment, holding this back. So really then, that the Tau are hoping that there's enough Kroot on the field to keep these flanks secure for them. Because as you can see, look, this is really allowing all that firepower to just be directed into a small area. Should the Tau start getting surrounded, they'll have diminishing returns here. But look at that Orky horde. Oh my god, there's so many of them. You gotta absolutely love it. We're gonna call this the Wayland defense because it looks like W's. How we doing on our far flank, guys? Okay, so this is literally the map edge. A couple of Orcs and oh, I don't know why. The AI sometimes breaks and has a little bit of a breakdown and they just run off into the distance. Oh well, not too many are going to do that, thankfully. But this is a brutal fight over here. The terrain, I'm not sure who it's favouring. Maybe the defenders, actually. I think the Tau can still lay... Yeah, look at that. The covering fire that comes in is pretty significant. There's actually a lot of Kroot on this side of the field. Kind of worrying that there's not so many in the center line here. You can see that we have got a bunch of them pushing through our formation, breaking up the W here to make their way to that front. Meanwhile, the hammerheads and XV8 suits providing as much firepower as they can. This lake is starting to get rather large now. Let's go have a little dip in it. Okay, so that's actually impassable to the Orcs now on this side. So the Orcs are going to have to go around this. The Orcs are starting to get some decent kills on their side now. 30,000 to the 400,000 losses that they're coming up to. That's not bad, considering the orcs don't have the Daka here today. Unfortunately, when you add shooters into the mix into this, so if the enemy are defended like the tower today, the shooters are just simply able to stand back and not really get shot at because the tower too busy trying to kill all the units closest to them. So what eventually happens is you just get this ring of shooters that allow just stand there blasting onto the defense lines, and there's absolutely nothing the defenders can do about it. So unfortunately today the orcs don't have any shooters with them. This is a sheer melee war that we've got going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're having an absolutely grand old time though. I mean, this is a big line of crew that have formed on this side. I think this defensive formation is going to hold out quite nicely. Like I said, I'm a little bit worried on this side. We don't have as many crews at all, but what we do have is a terrain advantage. And it is playing into the tower's hands massively at the moment. I think this is literally an orc bridge made out of corpses to get across the river here. More crews are coming through though. We've got this little trickle coming through the lines. That is going to be extremely invaluable to the defenders. But this front line is extremely brutal at the moment. Just a nasty, decisive melee combat is going on. The orc choppers very good, very strong, but don't have high health pools. That's the thing with them. You know, the basic grunt, the workhorse here. Until at least someone adds Gretchens to the game. Then things get interesting. I'd love some little squigs as well. Exploding squigs would be cool. But I love the firepower that's just coming out of these tower lines. The orcs are taking so many losses trying to push through this. And again, it's just these little trickles of troops, the Karut that are coming forward, distracting the orcs long enough for that pulse fire to just smash down the enemy. How are we doing on our far flank? Are more troops deserting? Yeah, we've still got troops deserting off into the ether over there. It actually looks like more Karut are piecing out than orcs. That could be really good for the orcs then. This line is starting to get thinned out bit by bit though. The orc kill counter is slowly climbing here. With 1.4 million still left on the field though, is it going to be enough? Oh, look at this. That is a really thin part of the line here. The orcs could be breaking through this. That's a heavy concentration of storm boys in the middle as well. This could be it. This could be the breakthrough here of the orcs. You can see we've got little groups of crew trying to come through, but I think that might be a breakthrough here, ladies and gentlemen. Can the orcs actually push through this? I couldn't think of the word then. But look at that. That is a clear breach in the lines now. The crew quickly need to reform to plug that gap, or can we get enough pulse fire concentrating into it? No, it's starting to widen bit by bit. The orcs are breaching through. The group now getting dangerously outflanked. This could be the start of the fall of this line. Oh man, that was absolutely decisive there. Look at that, the green tide now starting to push through. I wonder if any of these reinforcements will start coming over to their side. The moment it seems to be reinforcing the main flanks. Perhaps this is the tactic all along. Because the Tau seem to have a pretty good field of fire into this area. How we did on these lines. Again, Karut lines starting to thin out now. Getting a little bit worried. Have we got enough pulse fire to be able to hold this? Oh look, the Karut are breaking on this side as well. I think there was about 200,000 Karut if I remember rightly. So yeah, some significant losses that we're starting to take here. The 82,000 must be mainly Karut at this point. Yeah, look at that. The orcs starting to surge over the field here now. That's pretty crazy. The lines are breaking. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that is a monumental collapse of the center line here. The orcs are going to start trying to outflank them bit by bit, I think, now. Okay, so what we're going to do, hit a little time-lapse camera here. I want to see if the orcs manage to push through on the far flank over there, and if they start to manage to envelop our Tau warriors here. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and look at this. The orcs have been trying to put reinforcements into this flank, but they still have not yet managed to push it. Now, we've got this sneaky little brigade here, trying to come round from the backside, but they have not been successful yet. The sheer weight of firepower here, coming out from the tow lines, has been keeping the orcs at bay. And I mean, look at this. They're getting over the top of their dead comrades and just being absolutely gunned down. Now, another thing I'm really surprised of is that they haven't managed to push around this flank either, though it does look like they're getting closer and closer. The firepower here from the tow lines is starting to be split further and further afield here. Now, we have still got reinforcements coming out of this side, apparently. Yeah, look, there's ever so few crews here. We've actually still got a large group on this side. I think as soon as the orcs break through this, it might be a little bit deadly on this flank over here. It kind of looks like the orc army's breaking into at this point, trying to, yeah. Okay, so actually this is interesting. Is there going to be enough orcs on this side of the field to firstly take out them Karut and then to be able to take on this defense? I don't know if that is going to be the case here. The tower pumping firepower into the side of them. So what the orcs really need to do is manage to start breaking through one of these flanks on this side. I mean, desperately at this point. They're starting to really amass forces over here, actually. And this is really good because that is nowhere near the same concentrated blob of units. So any of the tower that are firing at these guys, they're having nowhere near the same fire's effect as if they were shooting at this massive horde over here. I mean, that's not to diminish the orcs. Look at this. They've still got a massive amount of troops on the field here to be able to fling at this. But yeah, I think it is going to be down to what happens on this side of the field at the moment. Because the Tau, seemingly, got this one pretty much in the bag. Like, as far as this side of the field is concerned, I think there's just enough Karut here to keep them all in a holding pattern for long enough that, yeah, look at that firepower. Just smashing into the side of the orcs. Them XV8 suits, man, just rip them open. Oh, look at, yeah, like that. Hundreds of orcs die with each volley. But we are starting to get the surround, and when the surround happens, the kills start to skyrocket in the surroundees' favour. Yeah, because look, we're starting to pull Karut now back from these lines over here. They're coming down to face the Orky hordes, but the Orky hordes are also getting shot in the back while they're doing this. This is very much a tit-for-tat fight. What these guys need to be doing is charging at them lines to distract the gunners, so these guys can go about the business in peace. How are we doing on this side? Oh, look at this. The flank is starting to run out of reinforcements here. The orcs not pumping in enough. The Tau firepower here being completely superior in every way. Maybe the orcs did need a few shooters on the field. Maybe that would have helped them. Because they're having a heck of a day at the moment. They're really struggling to close this gap. Normally the orcs do quite well at closing the gap to the enemy, but sheer weight of firepower here is having such an effect on the orcs. They need to break through one of these so quickly, guys. Come on. Get through these Karut. You need to break through these and go for that defense line over there. Because once we break through there, we'll have a really nice flanking maneuver going into them guys. There is still quite a few orcs left over here. I do think this is doable, but they've got to be quick about it. Now what? I can't even see. Yeah, the Karut are so small compared to the orcs, man. Makes it really hard to see them. Yeah, it's the terrain that's really helped the Karut on this side as well. It's stopped the orcs from outflanking them from a long time. But yeah, slowly but surely, the attrition battle is taking place on this flank. I don't know if the orcs are going to have enough reinforcements to do this. Firepower is just too much from the Tau. It's insane. There's only 44,000 of them. I don't actually think we've lost that many units either from the Fire Warriors. They seem to be pretty much intact. I mean, they've got a river of blood beneath them. But Jesus, look at that. They're just slaughtering the Zoggers as they come over the hill. And it looks like this attack on this side has petered out completely now. Just like I said, there's still a good chunk of orcs on this side of the field, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Yeah, you guys should be attacking. What are you actually... You're getting distracted by a single Karut over here. So many have died while trying to take on that one dude. Look at that, though. That's the firepower that comes out of the tower. Not to be messed with at all. This is good. I think they've actually, now they've got no units left, I think they've actually started to manage to break through. Can they start diverting that firepower? That is going to be key now. I don't think there's going to be enough of them. These Carutopiae are so pesky. Again, it's such a tough fight that's been had up on this side of the field. Come on, Orkies. You can do this. I believe. The power of the wire is strong. I don't care that we've made mountains out of your fellow comrades. I mean, what we need, like I said, we need the miracle of this flank over here, but it's looking rather weak at the moment. I don't know if the Orcs are going to have enough forces to be able to push through this. What we'll do then is probably hit another little time-lapse camera and see if the Orcs manage to get through this defense. We'll be back in a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Orcs finally made their way through the Karut lines, but it was too little, too late, unfortunately for them. As the last of them come charging down into the tower lines, they are met with nothing but highly concentrated pulse fire, and it just evaporates them in seconds. And with the hopes of an Orky victory, I mean, look at this, the tower just baiting them at this point. They're like, oh, we could annihilate you all. But no, we'll just, we'll let you get close and volley fire you to death. What a way to go for the poor old Orc dreams here. Last couple coming in. Go on, Orcs, you can do it. We believe. Oh, well, what is even left over this side? There's some 18,000 Orcs left, but yeah, they're all trickling in from areas like this now. There's absolutely no concerted firepower left at all. And look at these monumental body piles we've made. Absolutely fantastic stuff here today. But I do think we can be ending this one here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as always, we need to cleanse the battlefield. And I do hope you've had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who help to keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the amazing ChaoticPinky store. We got some really cool merch over there. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.